Hello everyone. Welcome back to our channel where we explore the fascinating intersections of nutrition, lifestyle, and overall health. Today's topic is all about teeth. Yes, those pearly whites that greet the world every time we smile. But this isn't your typical dentist's office conversation. We're taking a deep dive into how two popular diets, the keto diet and the carnivore diet, could be influencing your dental health. If you're curious whether chowing down on steak all day or loading up on avocado and cheese might help you escape that dreaded drill and fill routine, stick around. We've got insights, humor, and perhaps one too many puns, so let's get started. Before we chew on today's topic, I have to remind you I'm not a dentist or a medical professional. Everything you see here is for general education and a bit of entertainment. If you're considering a major dietary change or have concerns about your teeth, talk to a qualified healthcare provider or dentist for personalized advice. Now, let's explore how these diets, keto and carnivore, might affect your mouth, your smile, and those oh-so-important visits to your dentist. Dental health might seem like an isolated topic, just something your dentist nags you about every 6 months. But trust me, it's a big deal. Cavities, gum disease, and enamel erosion don't just cost you money and dental bills, they can also signal deeper health issues. Bacteria in the mouth can affect heart health, and poor nutrition can show up in your smile faster than you can say, pass the toothbrush. So if we're serious about overall wellness, we can't ignore what's happening in our mouth. And that's where keto and carnivore come in. Quick refresher. The keto diet is a low-carb, high-fat approach that aims to push your body into a metabolic state called ketosis. Instead of running on carbs, your body burns fat for fuel, producing ketones as a byproduct. Typically, you'll eat around 70 to 75% of your calories from fat, 20 to 25% from protein, and a very small sliver, about 5 to 10%, from carbohydrates. So yes, your dinner plate might boast salmon drenched in butter with a side of zucchini noodles, or perhaps eggs smothered in cheese and bacon for breakfast. The promise? Better blood sugar control, potential weight loss, and possibly fewer cravings. But what does that mean for your teeth? Now let's talk about the carnivore diet, which takes low-carb living to the extreme. Some might say the T-Rex extreme. On this plan, you eat almost exclusively animal-based foods. Meat, fish, eggs, and maybe some dairy if you're feeling fancy. Fruits, veggies, grains, nuts? Nope, they're out. The idea here is that by cutting out all plant-based carbs, you reduce inflammation and possibly fix digestive or autoimmune issues. Advocates claim it can also improve mental clarity and energy levels. But how does an all-meat regimen impact your pearly whites? Could going full carnivore mean you're also going full no cavities? Let's find out. To understand how these diets affect dental health, let's recall the big baddie in the room: sugar. We've all heard it. Sugar causes cavities by feeding mouth bacteria that produce acid, which then erodes tooth enamel. That's a big reason kids who guzzle sweet drinks get scolded by parents and dentists alike. But here's the kicker: many carbs, even healthy ones like fruit or whole grains, can also break down into sugars in the mouth. This doesn't mean all carbs are evil, but it does hint at how a low-carb or zero-carb diet might reduce the usual suspects for tooth decay. If you're barely eating carbs, like in keto or carnivore, are you also starving the cavity-causing bacteria? Possibly. Less sugar, less risk of decay. If you're on a strict keto or carnivore plan, you're basically slashing your sugar intake, assuming you're not sneaking in those sugar-free chocolates sweetened with questionable chemicals. With fewer carbs swirling around your mouth, certain bacteria might not thrive as much. Some people on these diets report fewer cavities, and that's likely no coincidence. Reduced inflammation. Both diets claim anti-inflammatory benefits, whether that's real or just hype. If your gums are less inflamed, you might be at lower risk for gingivitis and periodontal disease. Gums love an anti-inflammatory environment, stabilized blood sugar levels, Keto, in particular, can help regulate blood glucose. Excess sugar in the bloodstream can also have ramifications for oral health, like dryness in the mouth or higher susceptibility to infections. By keeping glucose in check, you might indirectly keep your mouth healthier. These are compelling points, right? But hold your horses, because we're about to talk about some potential downsides you might not have expected. In restricting your diet heavily, especially on carnivore, you might miss out on nutrients that support gum and tooth health. Vitamin C is a classic example. While you can get some vitamin C from organ meats or certain raw cuts, many folks on carnivore diets risk deficiency if they're not careful. And a deficiency in vitamin C can lead to bleeding gums or worse. Ever heard of keto breath? That's when your body's in ketosis and producing ketones like acetone, giving your breath a somewhat fruity or acidic odor. Now, breath odor is one thing, but if your mouth environment becomes too acidic, it can also affect the enamel. We want a balanced oral pH, not an acidic playground for bacterial mischief. Not all keto or carnivore followers stick to grass-fed ribeye and wild-caught salmon. Some turn to processed meats loaded with sodium, preservatives, and who knows what else. That can lead to dryness in the mouth or irritation of the gums, factors that might contribute to dental issues if combined with other stressors. Sometimes people adopt these diets in pursuit of minimalism or convenience. In doing so, they might skip routine brushing and flossing because they assume I'm not eating sugar, so I'm good. Don't do that, folks! The basics of oral hygiene never go out of style. Let's chat about a lesser-known aspect: saliva. Saliva is the unsung hero of oral health, helping neutralize acids, wash away food particles, and keep your mouth from turning into the Sahara Desert. On high-protein diets, some people actually experience changes in saliva composition or quantity. For example, if you're not drinking enough water or balancing electrolytes, looking at you hardcore carnivores, you might end up with dryness. That dryness allows bacteria to cozy up on your teeth and gums, raising the risk of bad breath and plaque buildup. So if you're going down the meaty route, remember to hydrate like it's your job. So, is this a green light to go full caveman or cavewoman and toss out your toothbrush? Not exactly. Like many things in nutrition, it's nuanced. Low sugar intake can be a huge plus for preventing cavities. Meanwhile, nutrient deficiencies or neglecting your brushing routine can sabotage you. So, the verdict? These diets have potential benefits for your teeth if, and that's a big if, you're doing them responsibly. That means paying attention to micronutrients, like vitamin C, calcium, vitamin D, magnesium, staying hydrated, and not going ballistic on bacon strips alone. An interesting side note. Some fans of the carnivore diet talk about how chewing tougher cuts of meat can actually stimulate the gums and keep jaws strong. It's like free exercise for your mouth, right? In older societies, people ate more fibrous and unprocessed foods, which helped maintain robust jawbones and straighter teeth. But do we all need to gnaw on beef jerky 24/7 to get that effect? Probably not. Still, it's intriguing to think about how modern diets full of soft, processed foods might be making our jaws a bit lazier. At this point, you might be asking, cool theories, but where's the proof? Great question. The data on long-term carnivore diets is fairly limited, partially because it's a niche approach. With keto, there's a bit more research, but it often focuses on weight loss or metabolic syndrome, not specifically on teeth. However, anecdotal reports do pop up. Some keto and carnivore devotees claim they haven't had a cavity in years. Others mention dryness, gum sensitivity, or those dreaded keto breath issues. Like so much in nutrition, personal experiences vary widely. If you're a science buff, keep your eyes peeled for emerging studies on low-carb diets and oral health. For now, the best we can say is that these diets might reduce cavity risk by lowering sugar intake, but you still need to watch out for potential deficiencies and mouth dryness. No diet is a magic wand that eliminates the need for floss, folks. Let's get practical. If you're on one of these diets or just curious, here are some tips. Don't skimp on nutrients. Incorporate organ meats or nutrient-dense foods if you're carnivore. Aim for leafy greens, if allowed, or low-carb veggies if you're keto. Consider supplements like vitamin C, D, or magnesium if recommended by a healthcare pro. Stay hydrated, water, and more water. Maybe even some sugar-free electrolytes if you're feeling fancy. Keep your saliva flowing. Mind your oral care. Brush at least twice a day, floss daily, and consider using a non-sugary mouthwash. Just because you're low-carb doesn't mean plaque can't party on your teeth. Watch for gum issues. Sore, bleeding gums are a red flag. If that happens, see a dentist and evaluate whether you're missing key nutrients. Gradual transition. If you're hopping onto these diets, ease into them. Sudden changes can shock your system and your mouth. Avoid overly processed meats. Stick to quality proteins. We love a good discount, but bologna and questionable sausages might not be your mouth's best friend if loaded with additives. You know that moment when you're in the dental chair and your dentist says, "Let's talk about flossing habits," and you want to vanish into thin air? Imagine the dentist also starts asking, "So tell me about your diet. Are you a carnivore or a keto fan?" If you haven't prepped your teeth well, that's basically every dental nightmare combined. But if you can proudly say, "I cut sugar, my vitamin levels are balanced, and I floss daily," you might get a gold star from your dentist and save yourself a terrifying bill. Wouldn't that be sweet? Actually, sweet might not be the best word here. While we're at it, let's remember these diets can be intense. Growing kids, pregnant women, or individuals with medical conditions might need a more balanced approach. Teeth are still developing in kids and teens, so limiting entire food groups could mean missing out on essential vitamins and minerals. If you're in one of these categories, consult a professional to ensure you're not putting your oral health or overall health at risk. No one wants to trade future cavities or gum issues for short-term diet goals. So, let's tie it all together. Are keto and carnivore diets a surefire way to bulletproof your teeth? They can certainly help reduce sugar-induced cavities and possibly improve gum health by cutting out inflammatory foods. But if you don't watch your vitamin intake, stay hydrated, and keep brushing like a champion, you might trade one set of problems for another, like deficiencies or dryness. As always, the key is balance. Funny enough, even in diets that seem extreme, you still have to be mindful of the details. If you do that, you might discover that you can indeed rock a low-carb or zero-carb lifestyle without sacrificing that million-dollar smile. Just remember, no magical diet can replace good oral hygiene or the occasional checkup with your dentist. Your teeth deserve a little love, too. That's it for today's deep dive into the impact of keto and carnivore diets on dental health. I hope this gave you plenty to think about, whether you're already living that low-carb life, or just curious about how diet changes could improve your grin. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's always talking about how sugar is evil or how bacon is life. And hey, let me know in the comments if you've personally noticed changes in your teeth while following these diets. Let's keep the conversation going, and together we can keep our teeth shining bright. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.